Okay, once again, good morning. We are still on our topic, labor dispute. We have known what disputes are. When you say dispute, what is it? Then we also look at the various tactics or the various tools that employees or labor use when there is any labor dispute. We talked about strike actions and other tools like boycotting. They can embark on strike. We look at the types of strike. For example, sit down. We also look at slow down and then sympathy. Then we looked at boycotting. Then there was even an article that was read in respect of picketing and so on and so forth. So those were the tools or are the tools that are used by labor anytime there is labor dispute or whenever there is dispute in the organization. Remember, those tools are used when negotiations, mediations, and arbitration fail. Then labor decides to resort to such tools. Today we are going to also look at the tools that are used by management. Number one, you see, when we are looking at that of labor, we made mention of strike actions. When management is on strike, then that is called lockout. So one of the tools that can be used by management is lockout. As the name implies, lockout. So management will prevent workers from working during labor dispute. So you'll be prevented from working. So as the name implies, you'll be locked out. So if the organization has gates, by the time you come to workplace, if management wants to pay you, for example, 5%, and then you are calling for 30%, and that is what you are insisting, by the time you come, instead of you going on strike, they can also use this tool called lockout. So you will not be allowed to enter the workplace. So that is the strike version of the one that you saw as strike action in respect of the workers. So workers can embark on strike, then management also can embark on lockout. When management does it, it is not called strike, it is called lockout. So that is why I said that management prohibits. So the key word here is prohibits. Management prohibits workers from working during industrial dispute or labor disputes. If they don't use that one, there is another one they can also use, and that is blacklisting. That is another tool that management can use during labor dispute or industrial dispute, lobbying or blacklist. Let me look at the blacklisting first. If there is blacklist, it means that management has written or they have listed some names, especially of the leadership of the union that probably organized the strike action. So what they do is that they have a list of those who are influential, those they might have thought organized or led the strike action. And what will happen is that you may be denied certain rights, certain benefits. For example, if you are supposed to be promoted, if you are blacklisted, they may deny you of your promotion. You may not know, or you may assume, you will not be told that you have been denied your promotion because of ABC. But once they have that list there and your name is in, certainly you'll be punished for that. You may be victimized. You know, the other time you look at victimization, for fear of victimization. You remember that one. So when you are blacklisted, even that particular organization that you are working with can send your names. They can even sack you, they can fire you, and then your names may be in other similar organizations or other firms within the industry. That this is this person, this is his character, his attitude, and so on and so forth, and you may not be hired in other organizations. So they can also use that too. So if you don't want to be blacklisted, then you fear that you'll be victimized, then what you do is that you don't even involve yourself in the strike action. Another tool that can be used is lobbying. To lobby. What does it mean to lobby? The key word you have to note here is influence. Influence. So what management does is that, you see, workers are already on strike. They have embarked on strike action. So what does management do? What management does is that management tries to influence the leaders. And the influence can take any form. They can be bribed. They can give them money to accept management view so that they can subsequently persuade the workers to accept management terms. So they can lobby. So you'll be there, and then your leaders will come, and then they try to persuade you to stop or to continue with the work, or stop the strike action and then continue the work with some excuses or with some persuasion or explanations. They might have been bribed. So that is lobbying. Management lobbied, and they were able to influence them to accept their views. You remember we said that anytime there is industrial dispute, it means that there is disagreement between one party and the another, with each other trying the other one to accept their views. So that is for lobbying. So I said it is used to influence union leaders to accept management terms, and subsequently, so when they have accepted management terms, they subsequently try to persuade the workers to rescind their decision in respect of the strike action they have embarked on. They can give you certain excuses. So that is for that one. Then another tool that management can also use is what you call yellow dog contract. Yellow dog contract. What is it? You know, if you are not a member of a union, then you cannot embark on strike. So what they do is that before you are even engaged, before your employment, you sign an agreement with the organization or with management that you will not join the union. So if you agree that you will not join the union, it means that there is no way you can embark on strike action because you are not a member of the union. So that is what the yellow dog contract is. So where the employees agree not to join a union as a condition for employment. So once you agree that you will not be a member of the union, then it is there that you can be engaged. But remember, you have freedom to join any association you want to join. But if you also agree with them that you will not join the union as a condition to your employment, the question I want to ask you that you have done law of contract. If such a person signs that agreement, is it a contract? Can it be enforced in court of law? So this is something that you need to think about as a result of your knowledge or previous knowledge in law of contract. So that is that. The next tool that can be used is injunction. You have done law of contract. So when you talk about injunction, you know what is meant by injunction. Either it is the prohibitory injunction or the mandatory injunction. But here we'll be looking at the prohibitory injunction. So if you have idea as to what prohibitory injunction, that is what is here. When workers are on strike and management thinks that it is unlawful, if you have picketed, we have learned about one of the two that they can use. We learned that they can use strike action. We learned that they can picket. So if you have picketed, if you remember the article I read yesterday, when the toll booth workers picketed, what happened? The police went for them. They said the police picked them. Why? Because they thought it was unlawful. So management can use this injunction to prevent striking workers from, number one, either you are embarking on strike, they will tell you that it's illegal. Number two, or you are told not to picket at the organization's premises. Or at times you may be given a certain distance to which you can picket. So they can tell you that you should not be less than 10 meters or more than 10 meters away from the organization. So that is what injunction is all about. In injunction, management seeks to prevent certain union activities. So for example, picketing is a union activity. The strike action is a union activity. So you'll be prevented. It's a court order. So once the court gives that order, you have to obey. So that is for injunction. Then the last two is strike breakers. So two words combined, strike and breakers. So if you have a strike breaker, what do they do? They break strike. Is that not? Yes. So what does that mean? You see, while you are on strike, management can engage other people to come and work till you come back to the workplace. So those people who are engaged to work during strike action, they are called strike breakers. So management can also use that too. And all these things are meant to break the front. So for example, when there is you have these strike breakers. For example, if teachers are on strike and then the government decides that it's going for retired teachers to come and teach the students till the teachers decide not to come back to classroom or till negotiations are completed. That will be the use of the strike breakers. And you may know the repercussion or the effect of that one. So it might be meant to break your front. Some people may be afraid. Some people that they may be victimized and they may lose their job. So they may complain to the effect that the strike action must come to an end. So that is for the strike breakers. So these are the tools that are used by management. Remember, we have looked at the tools that are used by the unions. We talked about strike actions. We talked about boycotting. We talked about work to rule, and so on and so forth. Then today, we said management also has tools that they use. And we have looked at lockout, and we said lockout is the version of the strike action that is used by the workers. We have also looked at blacklisting. We have looked at lobbying. We have looked at yellow dog contract, then strike breakers. Now, there was a question that was asked in November 2023, and you have that paper with you, with your knowledge in the tools that are used by management and then the tools that are used by the employees. You should be able to answer that question. Now, as we were also talking about this human resource management issue, we have talked about grievances. When we say grievances, what are they? We have looked at conditions of service. We have looked at a collective agreement. We were making mention of grievances. Now, go and find out when you talk about grievances. What are they? What is a grievance? When we talk about workers' grievances, what are we talking about? To meet another time to tackle our last subtopic under human resource management. And you know that topic, we look at labor, we look at employment department. or labor department. What is it? And then the functions. Till we meet again another time, good morning once again.